Ji-woo moved quietly through the dim blue mist of the small moon, her steps making almost no sound on the soft ground. She was a scout from the Ilari Dominion, trained since childhood to observe without being seen. Her mission was simple, yet troubling. The Dominion had detected strange energy waves from this moon, and those waves were often a sign of danger. Some feared it was the mark of a creature that had destroyed entire fleets before. Ji-woo had been sent to confirm the truth. Her ship rested behind her like a silver seed, hidden under a cloak field. She kept her scanner in hand as she walked forward. The moon was quiet. Too quiet. No wind. No movement. Only the slow drifting mist and the faint hum of distant rocks shifting under weak gravity dot as she approached a cliffside. The scanner blinked. A signal. Not a wild creature. Not a machine. Something artificial. Something human. Ji-woo frowned. Humans were not supposed to be here. They were new to interstellar travel and usually stayed close to their own system. She lowered her scanner, wondering if the signal was broken. But when she stepped between two large boulders, she saw it clearly. A small outpost stood in the middle of the rocky basin. It was made of metal plates and reinforced with strange cables. A soft orange light glowed through the cracks of the door. Smoke rose from a pipe on the roof like someone was cooking inside. Ji-woo pressed herself against a rock and watched for movement. The outpost looked old, patched, and lived in. Whoever built it had been there for a long time. She activated her visor and zoomed in. There was no sign of danger. No traps, no guards. Only a simple home. She stepped out of hiding. The door slid open before she even reached it. A man stepped out into the open air. He looked young, but he had tired eyes. Human eyes. He wore dark work clothes, dusty and torn, and his hair was messy like he had been awake for too long. He looked at her with calm surprise, as if seeing an alien scout was no more strange than seeing a passing traveler. "Hello," he said softly. Ji-woo tightened her grip on her weapon, but did not raise it. "State your name." "Daejin," he answered. "I didn't think the Dominion checked this moon anymore." Ji-woo studied him. He spoke without fear. Most humans were uneasy speaking to Ilari citizens. They considered Ilari technology too advanced, too sharp, too cold. But Daejin spoke as if he had been expecting someone. "You are living here alone?" Ji-woo asked. "Yes." He gave a small, tired smile. "Well, not exactly alone." Ji-woo's eyes narrowed. "Explain." Daejin shook his head. "You will see soon enough. But it won't harm you. Won't harm her?" Strange choice of words. Ji-woo stepped closer. "This moon is under investigation. We detected unusual energy. You will answer my questions." Daejin nodded. "You're welcome to ask. But I think you should come inside first. The temperature is dropping." Ji-woo hesitated. She had been trained never to enter unknown shelters alone. But her visor showed no signs of danger inside, and the cold was indeed spreading across the land. The light was fading quickly, and mist was rising higher. She followed him in. The interior of the outpost was warm and bright. The walls were covered with tools, screens, and old human equipment. A small cooking pot steamed on a heater. In one corner was a pile of strange plants moon flora she had never seen, harvested by humans. Daejin poured warm water into a cup and handed it to her. Ji-woo's instincts told her not to accept gifts from strangers, but she felt oddly calm around him. She took the cup, keeping her eyes on him. "How long have you been living here?" she asked. 5 years, Daejin said. Ji-woo almost dropped the cup. 5 years? Alone? Impossible. This moon is unstable. It faces frequent quakes and radiation spikes. I learned to handle them, Daejin said simply. Ji-woo walked around the room, examining his tools. They were repaired many times, held together with scrap pieces and strange adjustments outside normal human design. She could not tell whether he was a genius or just desperate. "You said you are not alone," she said slowly. "Yes." Daejin looked toward the door leading outside. "Because of them?" "Them?" Before he could answer, the ground trembled slightly. Not a quake Ji-woo recognized the pattern. Heavy footsteps. Slow. Deep. Too heavy for any normal creature. She froze. Daejin did not dot. He simply walked to the door and opened it. Cold air swept inside. Ji-woo's hand moved to her weapon as she stepped to his side. She stared into the fog. A giant shadow moved in the mist. It grew larger as it approached, shaking the ground with every step. The air thickened with the sound of low breathing. Ji-woo's heart pounded. She knew that pattern. She had heard the recordings in training. The creature of legend, the galaxy's most feared, predator, the Vorin Mauler, a beast that had torn apart warships, a creature that had made entire colonies flee, a monster that should not, could not, be this calm. Ji-woo's breath caught. The Mauler stepped out of the mist. It towered over them, its massive shape covered in dark scales. Its glowing eyes scanned the area, then locked onto Daejin. Ji-woo prepared to fire. Daejin raised a hand, not in fear, but in greeting. "Come here," he said softly. The Mauler lowered its head and walked toward him. Ji-woo stepped back, her weapon shaking. This was suicide. The beast was close enough to crush them both, but instead, it bent down and gently pressed its massive head against Daejin's shoulder, like a pet greeting its owner. Daejin placed a hand on its snout, calm and steady. "Good to see you again," he whispered. Ji-woo stared with wide eyes. Speechless. This could not be real. Daejin looked at her with a quiet smile. "I told you. I'm not alone." Ji-woo could not understand what she was seeing. The Mauler, a creature feared by armies, was standing peacefully at a human's side. No chains, no controls. No threat. What have you done?" Ji-woo whispered. Daejin gently patted the creature. "I didn't do anything special. I just helped it when it needed help." "You tamed it," Ji-woo said, her voice trembling. Daejin shook his head. "Not tamed. We just understand each other." Ji-woo stepped closer, slowly. The Mauler turned its head toward her, watching her with bright eyes. Her entire body tensed. One wrong move and she would be dead. But the creature did not attack. It only watched. Daejin looked at her seriously. "This is why I said you should come inside. The Dominion is not going to like what they find here. And you need to know the truth first." Ji-woo stared at him, then at the giant creature beside him. Her mission had just become far more complicated than she expected. And far more dangerous. Ji-woo stood in silence as the great creature lowered itself beside Daejin like a resting mountain. The fog around them shifted with every breath the Mauler took. Ji-woo had trained her whole life to avoid these monsters, not stand a few steps from one. Every instinct told her to run, but her legs did not move. Daejin placed his hand on the creature's warm scales, almost lovingly. The Mauler let out a soft rumble, like a deep purr. Ji-woo had never heard such a sound from this species. In every report, Maulers only roared, screamed, or crushed anything that moved. None of them acted calm. None acted gentle. Ji-woo forced herself to breathe. "How long has it been with you?" she asked. "Almost 5 years," Daejin said. "I found it wounded. Or it found me. I'm still not sure which." Ji-woo looked at him with disbelief. "You are telling me the galaxy's most dangerous creature simply walked up to you and asked for help?" Daejin gave a small laugh. "Not exactly. It tried to scare me at first. I thought I was going to die every day for the first month. But it was hurt. Very hurt. I couldn't leave it to die. And it didn't kill me when I tried to help. That was enough. The mauler lifted its head slightly and looked at Ji-woo. She froze again. Its eyes glowed with a soft golden color, not the blood red she had seen in military footage. Something was different about this one. Something she could not explain. Why doesn't it attack me? She whispered. Because I told it you're safe, Daejin said. Ji-woo looked at him sharply. It understands words? Not words, Daejin replied, tapping his chest. Feelings. Intentions. It knows what I trust. And it trusts what I trust. That's how it works. Ji-woo wanted to argue, but she couldn't. She had seen it with her own eyes. The creature could have killed her 100 times already. Daejin gently scratched the creature's head. This one's name is Haru. A mauler. With a name, Ji-woo felt faint. The creature stretched its wings, sending a wave of air across the ground. Ji-woo stumbled back, and Haru gave a soft growl, not angry, but curious. Easy, Daejin said, patting its neck. Haru slowly folded its wings again. Ji-woo took another step back, still trying to make sense of everything. The Dominion thinks there is a mauler nest here. They plan to destroy the moon if they confirm it. Daejin nodded. I know. Their scanners must have picked up Haru's energy. But Haru is not nesting. Haru just lives here with me. Ji-woo shook her head. The Dominion will not believe that. They fear maulers more than any other creature. They believe they cannot be reasoned with, controlled, or understood. Daejin sighed. Maybe that was true once. But it isn't true now. At least not with this one. Ji-woo looked at Haru again. The creature's chest rose and fell slowly, rhythmically. Haru seemed relaxed, but Ji-woo could still sense the power hidden beneath those scales. If the creature attacked, she would be dead before she could take a single step. You said the Dominion would not like what they find here, Ji-woo said quietly. Daejin nodded. When they see Haru, they will try to kill him. And Haru will defend himself. I don't want that. Ji-woo closed her eyes. Then we must prevent the Dominion from coming here at all. Or at least buy enough time to explain. Daejin stroked Haru's massive jaw. I don't want any fights. Haru doesn't want them either. But fear makes people do foolish things. He looked at Ji-woo. And your commanders are afraid, aren't they? Ji-woo hesitated, then nodded slowly. Yes, anything involving maulers puts the Dominion in panic. They believe no creature can calm a mauler. No creature can bond with one. They believe every mauler is born for destruction. Then Haru will change their minds. Daejin said. Ji-woo wished she had his confidence. The sky above them darkened as the sun dipped behind the distant cliffs. The cold grew sharper, and the fog thickened around their legs. We should go inside, Daejin said. Haru stays outside. He likes the cold. Ji-woo slowly backed toward the door, keeping her eyes on the creature. Haru watched her in return, but made no move to follow. Once they were inside, Daejin closed the door and sat down on a metal chair. Ji-woo remained standing. There is something else you should know, she said. The Dominion is not just monitoring this moon. They already sent fleets. 2 ships are holding position behind the dark side. They will send ground forces soon. Daejin's expression darkened. Then we don't have much time. He stood and walked to a drawer. Inside were old data pads filled with notes, sketches, diagrams, records of Haru's behavior. I wrote everything down, Daejin said. How Haru communicates. How Haru reacts to danger. How Haru shows emotion. I tried to understand him, and he tried to understand me. Ji-woo flipped through one of the pads. The handwriting was messy but clear. Drawings of Haru filled several pages, his wings, his scales, his eyes, even his teeth. Beside the drawings were paragraphs of observations. Haru shows protective behavior. Haru responds to tone of voice. Haru enjoys warm sunlight. Haru reacts strongly to fear. "This is impossible," Jiwoo whispered. "Maybe," Daejin said softly. "But it is real." Jiwoo stopped at one sentence. "Har, you saved my life. What happened here?" she asked. Daejin took a slow breath and sat again. "There were bandits, raiders. They came to steal supplies. I tried to talk to them, but they attacked. Haru was still healing then. But he came anyway. He scared them off. After that, I knew Haru would protect me." Jiwoo looked up. "A mauler protected a human?" "Yes," Daejin said. "Because we are connected." Jiwoo was silent for a long moment. "Even if this is true," she said at last, "I do not know how to make the Dominion believe it." Daejin leaned closer. "Then let me show you everything. Not just Haru, the bond, the trust. Maybe if you see it fully, you will know how to explain it to your people." Jiwoo stared at him. His eyes were tired but honest. She could tell he wasn't lying. He believed in this connection with all his heart. She sighed. "I will stay for now, but only to observe. This does not change the fact that the Dominion will arrive soon." Daejin nodded. "Then we will prepare." Outside, Haru let out a deep, echoing call that shook the walls. It was not angry, simply a signal. Jiwoo felt a chill run down her spine. Daejin stood and walked to the door. "Haru senses something. He's warning us." Jiwoo checked her visor. Her scanner blinked with a faint red. Signal. Something was approaching. Not Haru. Not an animal. Something from the sky. Jiwoo looked at Daejin. "The Dominion has arrived sooner than expected." Daejin's face hardened. "Then it begins." Jiwoo moved to the window and looked out into the thick mist. The red signal on her visor continued to blink, sharp and steady. Something in the sky had entered the moon's atmosphere. Not a meteor. Not a natural object. The shape was too controlled, the descent too smooth. Daejin stood beside her and narrowed his eyes toward the dark clouds above. "How many will they send?" "If they believe this place holds a mauler nest," Jiwoo said slowly, "they will send at least one strike squad. 10 soldiers, maybe more. And scouting drones. They will look for any signs of danger. That includes Haru." Daejin exhaled, calm but tense. "We need to keep Haru out of sight. At least until we know what they plan to do." Jiwoo nodded. "If they see him too early, they might attack without warning." Outside, Haru let out another deep, echoing sound. The ground beneath them shook like a soft drumbeat. Daejin understood the creature's signal immediately. "He senses the ships," Daejin said. "Not close yet, but coming fast. He wants to protect this place. He thinks we're all in danger." Jiwoo kept her eyes on the sky. "He isn't wrong. But fighting is the last thing we need. If the squad engages him, they will call for backup. More ships. More weapons." Daejin shook his head. "That will turn this moon into a battlefield. I won't let that happen. Haru won't either." Jiwoo looked at him sharply. "You do not control him. You said that yourself." "I don't control him," Daejin agreed, "but he listens. He feels what I feel. If I stay calm, he will be calm too." Jiwoo wasn't sure it was that simple, but she could not deny what she had seen. A mauler showing calm. A mauler showing trust. A mauler showing affection. She never thought she would witness such things. Daejin stepped outside and called out softly, "Haru." The giant beast rose slowly from where it had been resting. Its wings unfurled slightly, catching the cold air. It lowered its head toward Daijin, waiting for instructions. Ji-woo stayed behind, unsure whether it was safe to stand so close. Haru's presence always felt like standing beside a storm silent for now, but powerful enough to destroy everything if it turned. Daijin rested his hand on Haru's snout. Stay close to the cliffs. Keep low. No sudden movements. They're coming. Haru blinked slowly, as if understanding. The creature backed away into the thick fog, its massive form blending with the shadows. Soon, only the faint glow of its eyes remained, then even that disappeared. Ji-woo joined Daijin outside. If the squad lands nearby, they will scan the area. They will find your outpost. They will find you. And maybe me. Then we need a plan, Daijin said. Ji-woo folded her arms, thinking quickly. We must meet them before they think we are hiding something. If we look suspicious, they will become aggressive. And if they simply attack us on sight? Daijin asked. They won't, Ji-woo said. Not if they see me with you. I outrank their squad leaders. They will follow my orders. At least long enough for me to explain. Daijin nodded. Then let's meet them. But what about Haru? Ji-woo looked toward the cliffs where the giant creature hid. We hope he stays patient. Moments later, a bright streak crossed the clouds. A small ship broke through the mist and slowed its descent with glowing stabilizers. It landed several hundred meters away, sending dust into the air. Ji-woo stood straight, her posture sharp and professional. Daijin stayed beside her, but slightly behind, letting her speak first. The ship's ramp opened, and armored Alari soldiers marched out in neat formation. Their weapons were armed and ready, though not raised. At their front stood a tall woman with silver markings on her armor. A lieutenant. Ji-woo stepped forward. Lieutenant Senna. The lieutenant stopped, surprised. Scout Ji-woo? We believed you still in transit. Why are you on the surface? I arrived early, Ji-woo said, and I have already begun my investigation. I will take command of this mission. Her voice was firm, leaving no room for argument. Lieutenant Senna nodded respectfully. Of course. What have you found? Ji-woo hesitated for a moment. She could not tell them the truth, not yet. The readings we detected were not a nest. They are the result of old storm activity. Nothing dangerous. Stand down your full inspection. The soldiers exchanged confused looks. Senna frowned. Our readings show a strong living presence nearby. Something large. Are you saying that is false? Daijin stepped forward. The readings come from me. I use equipment that sometimes interferes with scanners. I live here, alone. Senna stared at the human for a long moment. A human living on this moon? Impossible. Humans are not permitted here. He is not a threat, Ji-woo said quickly. I have spoken with him. He is harmless. Senna didn't look convinced. Scout Ji-woo, your report sounds incomplete. Should we not continue a full sweep? Our orders, a sudden rumble shook the ground. The soldiers stiffened. Ji-woo felt the vibration in her bones. Daijin's eyes widened. Haru, stay hidden. Please. Through the mist behind them, a giant silhouette moved. Every soldier raised their weapon. Ji-woo shouted, Hold your fire. Her voice echoed across the basin, but it was too late. Haru stepped out of the fog, his enormous wings folded tight against his sides. His glowing golden eyes focused on the soldiers, not with anger, but with caution. He sensed their fear. He felt their tension, and Ji-woo knew that if any soldier fired, Haru would react. Senna gasped. A mauler. A real mauler. Here? She raised her arm. All units, prepare to. Ji-woo grabbed her wrist. No, do not fire. Senna struggled. Are you mad? It will kill us all. No, Ji-woo said firmly. It will not. Daijin stepped forward, putting himself between the soldiers and Haru. Haru, it's okay. They're scared, but they won't hurt us. Stay calm. Haru lowered his head. A deep rumble vibrated through the ground, not aggressive, uncertain. The soldiers stared in disbelief. A human, a mauler, standing side by side. Ji-woo pointed at Haru. This creature is not a threat. It has lived peacefully with this human for years. It understands him. It trusts him. And he trusts it. Senna looked horrified. Impossible. Maulers cannot be tamed. Daijin shook his head. I didn't tame him. We are friends. Haru made a soft sound, something like a deep sigh. He stepped closer to Daijin, towering over him like a living mountain. The soldiers stepped back in fear. Stand down, Ji-woo commanded again. If you attack, you will provoke him. If you remain calm, he will remain calm. Senna stared at Haru, torn between fear and duty. Finally, she lowered her weapon. The rest of the squad followed. Daijin let out a breath of relief. Ji-woo looked at Senna. Now you understand. This is not a monster. This is proof that maulers are more than what we believed. Senna looked at Daijin, then at Haru. We must send a report. But headquarters will not believe this. Ji-woo nodded slowly. Then we must show them. Haru lifted his head and looked toward the sky. A new signal blinked on Ji-woo's visor. More ships. Bigger ones coming fast. Daijin looked at her with worry. What does that mean? Ji-woo swallowed hard. The Dominion is coming in force. They think this moon must be destroyed. The air grew colder. Haru growled softly, and Ji-woo knew time was running out. The cold wind moved across the rocky plain as Ji-woo stared at the blinking alarm on her visor. The approaching signals were large and fast Dominion war cruisers. Not scouting ships, not patrols. These were the ships sent when the Dominion believed something must be erased. Daijin looked at her, sensing the tension in her face. How many? 3 cruisers, Ji-woo said. Maybe 4. They are heavily armed. They will not ask questions when they arrive. They will fire as soon as they see Haru. Lieutenant Senna heard this and quickly ordered her soldiers to take defensive positions. Though no one knew what they were supposed to defend against Haru, or the cruisers. Haru stood behind Daijin, his wings half open, his chest rising with slow, deep breaths. He sensed danger even without Ji-woo's visor. The creature's golden eyes watched the sky with careful focus. Daijin placed his hand gently against Haru's warm scales. We need you to stay calm. No matter what you see, no matter what you hear, please, don't attack unless you must. Haru lowered his head, almost like a nod. Ji-woo tried to think. The Dominion would not stop their operation because a scout told them to. They had rules, fear, and years of history screaming that maulers must be destroyed. Her words alone could not change that, but maybe something else could. We must show them, Ji-woo said. Show them what Haru truly is. If they see he is calm, if they see Daijin can stand beside him without fear, maybe they will reconsider. Senna looked doubtful. They will not look. They will fire from the sky. They do not want evidence. They want safety. Ji-woo shook her head. No, the cruisers are too powerful. If we let this happen, this moon will be wiped clean. Daijin will die. Haru will die. And the Dominion will learn nothing. We must force them to stop. Daijin looked at her carefully. How? Ji-woo took a deep breath. We must block their line of fire. We must stand in the open. Make them see us first. They cannot fire if they see one of their own on the ground in danger. Senna stepped forward. Scout Ji-woo, that is too risky. They will not know the situation. They may fire anyway. Ji Woo shook her head. If I stand with the Mauler, they will hesitate. They will want answers. That will give us time. Daejin looked unsure, but he did not argue. Instead, he stepped closer to her. Then we stand together. She looked at him. Are you certain? They will be pointing every weapon at Haru. At you. Daejin nodded slowly. If we don't try, everyone here dies. Haru knows that too. As if hearing his name, Haru moved closer. His huge head lowered protectively behind Daejin, his wings folding tightly. The creature trusted him completely. Suddenly, the clouds above them split open. Massive dark ships descended through the mist. Their hulls glowed with red lights, their engines sending strong gusts across the ground. They took stable positions in the sky, blocking the weak sunlight. Senna whispered, "Command Cruiser Soliner." They sent the main fleet. Ji Woo swallowed hard. This will not be easy. A voice echoed from the ships above, booming across the plain. This is Commander Ranel of the Dominion Fleet. All ground units identify yourselves. We have detected a Class A threat. Prepare for orbital cleansing. Ji Woo stepped forward. This is Scout Ji Woo. I am on the surface. I demand direct communication. Stand down your weapons. There was a pause. Then the voice returned, colder than before. Scout Ji Woo, your presence is noted. But you are in proximity of a Mauler. Evacuate immediately. Ji Woo shook her head. Negative. I will not evacuate. The creature is not hostile. I repeat, the creature is not hostile. The silence from the ships was heavy. Daejin stepped beside her. Haru stood behind them like a giant living wall. Ji Woo raised her voice. Send a scanner drone. See it with your own eyes. But do not fire. Do not make a mistake that cannot be undone. After a moment, a small circular drone descended from one of the cruisers. It hovered above the ground, its blue lights scanning the area. It scanned Daejin. It scanned Ji Woo. It scanned Senna and her soldiers. Then it scanned Haru. The drone vibrated, confused by what it saw. Instead of a roaring beast, the Mauler stood calmly. Observing the machine with curious golden eyes, the drone circled Haru twice, then returned to the sky. Another long pause. Then the commander spoke. Your data is received. But one drone is not enough to override protocol. The Mauler must be destroyed. Stand back. Daejin clenched his jaw. They're not listening. Ji Woo shouted, If you fire, you'll kill your own people on the ground. Your squad is with me. We are standing right beside the creature. You fire, and we all die. Another pause, this time shorter. Ground units, move away from the Mauler immediately. We will fire in 60 seconds. Senna stepped closer to Ji Woo. We cannot block their aim forever. They will shoot. Ji Woo shook her head. Not if we prove Haru can communicate. Daejin gently touched Haru's jaw. It's time. Show them you understand. Show them you are not a monster. Haru lowered himself slowly to the ground, lying flat. His wings opened halfway, but not in a threat posture. Instead, it looked like a gesture of surrender. The soldiers gasped. Mauler. Surrendering. Daejin stepped onto Haru's front leg and climbed onto the creature's back. Haru remained perfectly still. Ji Woo followed, standing beside him. She activated her visor's full signal broadcast. Commander Ranel, observe. The Mauler allows us to stand on him. He is calm. He shows no aggression. You fire now, you destroy proof that could change everything we know. Daejin raised his voice too. He trusts me. He trusts us. If you destroy him, you destroy the first peace we've ever had with his kind. For the first time, the commander hesitated. Jiwoo pressed forward. You have seen war with maulers. You have seen destruction. But have you ever seen a mauler show restraint? Trust? Care? No, because until now, it never happened. Don't kill the one chance we have to learn from them. The silence from the cruisers stretched long. Too long. Then a new voice came older, deeper. This is High Commander Yorin. I have taken control of the fleet. Scout Jiwoo, your actions are dangerous, but your evidence is compelling. We will not fire. Not yet. Daejin released a shaky breath. Jiwoo closed her eyes, relieved. However, the High Commander continued, you will bring the mauler to the designated landing zone. It will be studied, and you will be held responsible for any danger it causes. Haru growled softly at the cold demand. Daejin placed a hand on his back. Easy. Jiwoo looked up at the huge ships in the sky, their engines humming with quiet threat. We will comply, she said. But you must understand Haru is not a weapon. He is not an enemy. He is a living being who chooses peace. We will see, the commander replied. The ships slowly changed formation, moving to create a path toward the landing zone, several kilometers away. Senna approached Jiwoo. This could work. Or it could be a disaster. Jiwoo nodded. Yes, everything depends on what happens next. Daejin looked at Haru, who raised his head slowly. We're moving, Daejin said. Haru rose to his full height, powerful and calm. Together, they began walking toward their uncertain future. The sky above the moon slowly changed as the Ailari ships hovered in silence. Jiwoo stood near Daejin, feeling her heart beat fast. Haru stayed close to Daejin, its huge body lowered as if ready to protect him. Jiwoo felt the same fear she had felt when she first saw Haru, but now she also felt something new. She felt hope, and she did not want to lose it. The Ailari commanders had paused the attack. The show of control and peace from Haru had surprised them. Their screens had shown everything. Daejin standing without fear, Haru blocking the shot that had been fired from the sky, and Jiwoo standing between the humans and her own people, begging them to stop. Jiwoo knew they were watching. She knew every breath she took was being studied. She kept her voice calm and steady as she spoke into her communicator. She explained over and over again that Haru was not dangerous. She told them Daejin had changed the creature with kindness, not force. She told them fear was not a good guide for their decisions. The answer did not come quickly. Minutes passed slowly. The wind blew dust across the moon's surface. Daejin rested his hand on Haru's fur, as if he knew the creature was nervous. Haru's breath came out in slow waves that shook the ground. Jiwoo stayed close, but kept her distance enough to show she trusted both of them. She watched Daejin's calm face and wondered how one human could be so steady. She wondered how he had found the strength to live alone on this moon, how he had dared to take care of an injured creature known for killing anything that came near it. She realized humans were far more complex than she had thought. Finally, a voice came through her communicator. It was the High Commander of the Ailari fleet. His voice was sharp, but there was a trace of confusion. He asked question after question about Haru. How long had Daejin cared for it? How did he control it? Why was the creature not attacking? Jiwoo answered everything as clearly as she could dot at last. The High Commander said something she did not expect. He told her to bring Daejin and the creature to a safe location where they could speak face to face. He said no ships would fire unless the creature showed true danger. It was not a victory yet, but it was a chance. Jiwoo turned to Daejin and explained. Daejin nodded slowly. He did not want Haru to be hurt. He did not want a war on this moon. He trusted Jiwoo, and she felt the weight of that trust. It was stronger than any order she had ever followed. They began walking toward a large flat area where the Ailari had placed landing lights. Haru followed them with slow steps, its claws digging into the ground. Ji-woo could feel the stares of thousands of Ailari soldiers watching from above. She knew many of them still believed Haru was dangerous. She tried not to think about what might happen if even one of them panicked. When they reached the landing lights, a small transport ship descended. It landed softly, its doors opening with a hiss. A group of Ailari officers stepped out. Their movements were stiff and nervous, but they did not aim their weapons. Ji-woo saw that as a good sign. Daejin stepped forward with calm steps. Haru stayed slightly behind him, lowering its head to show it was not a threat. The officers looked at Haru with wide eyes. They whispered to one another. They were shocked, confused, and frightened. But none of them raised their weapons. The High Commander walked out last. He was tall, with markings of age and long service. His face stayed stern, but Ji-woo saw uncertainty in his eyes. He looked at Haru for a long moment, then at Daejin. "Human," he said, his voice steady. "You stand beside a creature that has killed thousands. Tell me, why does it follow you?" Daejin looked at him without fear. He answered simply. He told them he found Haru badly hurt. He told them he cared for it because he felt it deserved a chance to live. He told them Haru had never attacked him, not even when it was in pain. He told them trust came slowly, but it came. The High Commander listened without interrupting. Ji-woo held her breath. Haru stayed still, only its tail moving lightly across the dust. After a long silence, the High Commander stepped forward and placed his hand on his chest. "We do not understand this," he said, "but we cannot deny what we see. A Mauler shows loyalty. A human stands without fear. This changes everything." Ji-woo felt the tension in her body fade. She watched the High Commander look at Haru with less fear and more curiosity. He stepped back and ordered the soldiers to lower their alert systems. The attack was fully stopped. Daejin gave a small smile. Ji-woo let out a long breath she did not realize she was holding. Haru raised its head and looked at the Ailari officers without anger. A new silence filled the area, softer this time. The High Commander spoke again. "The Dominion will not destroy this place," he said. "Instead, we will study this bond. We will learn. Perhaps our fear has made us blind." He looked at Ji-woo. "Your report will lead this effort." Ji-woo nodded, feeling proud. She knew this was more than a mission. It was a turning point. Over the next hours, Ailari scientists and officers arrived to observe Haru, but from a respectful distance. Daejin stayed close to Haru at all times to keep it calm. Ji-woo guided the Ailari through everything she had learned since arriving on the moon. She reminded them that understanding took time. Haru reacted peacefully to the attention. It even allowed some of the braver scientists to come close. Daejin's gentle voice and slow movements helped keep the creature relaxed. Ji-woo watched the scene with quiet amazement. By the end of the day, the Ailari Dominion changed its official position. Haru was no longer listed as a threat. The moon was no longer marked for destruction. Instead, it was chosen as a site for a new research center to study interspecies cooperation. Daejin was asked to help lead the project. Ji-woo smiled when he accepted. She knew he was the only person who could truly guide them. As the stars rose above the moon, Ji-woo stood beside Daejin and Haru. She felt something warm inside her. She had started this journey thinking humans were simple and weak. But now she knew the truth. Humans had hearts that could change the impossible. Daejin looked at Haru, then at Ji-woo, and then at the night sky. It was quiet, peaceful, and full of new possibility. And for the first time, the galaxy seemed a little less afraid and a little more hopeful.